Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Hands-On channel. I wanted to touch in with you and just let you know that, man, my head has been spinning for the past few days, really over the weekend as well, just about the whole coup, or the supposed coup that happened out in Russia, and how, I mean, it came close, I guess, according to the media or their narrative, it came close to a civil war. And I was just thinking about that as I was out here walking around looking for the perfect building spot and building sites and things like that, and thinking about, should I make my root cellar into a dual purpose nuclear, biological, chemical shelter as well? And I think the answer to that is yes. And so I'm just feeling more and more tension on the news when I watch it. And I actually been checking the mainstream news here lately just to see if they mention anything about all of the Biden scandals that are currently going on right now. I mean, he had a separate cell phone that was directly connected, I guess, through satellite to Hunter and their business dealings and all the other stuff we've been finding out about here lately. And it looks like they're going to have multiple grounds of impeachment coming soon. So could it be that the Biden administration knows Biden is in trouble and they're trying to run cover for him, and they're trying to stir up the hornet's nest over in Ukraine and Russia even more? And maybe they're behind that. There was that $6.5 million, I believe, that suddenly came up missing right before this whole Wagner, whatever they call it, coup attempt that just happened over the weekend. It could be just a ruse by Vladimir Putin to smoke out anybody that might be traitors against his cause. You know, people that maybe don't want to go to war with NATO or Ukraine or any of that stuff right now. So I don't know, but either way, that's how Putin used it. He was able to find out who was with him and who was against him. So in that way, it was a brilliant strategy. Whether that was his or Wagner that orchestrated that whole deal, I don't know, but I find it very interesting. And again, I think all of this stuff, including the Titanic sub or whatever that went missing last week, that was all we heard about all week long. And I didn't really want to talk about it because it's horrific. If it really happened the way they said it happened and those people died in the sub, I don't care if they are multi-billionaires or whatever, they don't deserve that. And I find it interesting that the people that were responsible for running and building the sub were hiring through DEI standards. So they were looking for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And in fact, the CEO even stated he didn't really want white people in the operation. So, I mean, was that part of the deal? Were they lowering their standards and then the sub didn't meet the requirements and then it imploded? I don't know, but I think that business is liable for those deaths. And, I mean, hey, if you got that kind of money and you're a risk taker or a thrill seeker, then you go right ahead and do that. But the risk is you could die from something like that, and it just seems silly. The thing I was reading was saying they didn't even have a window in that sub, and there was no way to get out. They were bolted in, so there was no way for them to get out when they were underwater. It was just unreal. I would have never went down in a water coffin like that, and it's just unreal. So anyway, was that part of the distraction? Well, guess what? Just a day or two ago, I can't remember if it was Nebraska or Montana or where it was, but they spotted another Chinese spy balloon flying across our country. Of course, the Biden DOD is not going to do anything about it because they say, oh, it's so small, we're not going to mess with it. It's probably not carrying anything that could be used for surveillance. Bull crap. The last time the big one flew by, we all remember that. Look at the balloon, and we could have shot it down many times over open, undeveloped land, desert land and places in the mountains and stuff where we could have shot this thing down over the continental United States. But instead, Biden let it fly all around our military bases, gathering intel to use against us. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. This guy is clearly a Chinese agent. Clearly. I mean, he's got the money, the account's linked to him, so it's just unreal that this whole thing is going on, and the American people and the politicians that we elected are putting up with this and not going for full-bore impeachment. We need everyone to go full-bore impeachment on this guy. What if that thing is not carrying all that spy satellite stuff like the last one, but instead it's carrying some new small version of an EMP, which is still a nuclear device. It's just launched way up in the air and would send us back to 1800 immediately. Immediately. Our power grid, I was listening to a show on the way over here. Our power grid, especially the big substations, in many cases are 100 years old. Wouldn't take much to knock one or two of those out. We've seen people try with small arms, and they probably could do that sort of thing. Again, knocking us back into the 1800s. But yet, the mainstream media is silent on all of these critical, important issues. Had any of this stuff been tied to Donald J. Trump, they would have been having a field day. You guys know it. They would have bitched and moaned about every single thing that Donald Trump did wrong in response to any of this stuff. But yet, Joe Biden gets a pass. Are you seeing it yet? I know if you're a subscriber of this channel, you do see it, but a lot of people still don't. It's amazing to me when I look around at all the soft heads as I'm going out in the public and stuff. I'm just like, man, we're doomed. When I see a lot of this stuff and behavior that's going on in society right now, including the stuff that I'm going to have to be real careful about this, because this is a protected class here on YouTube. But all during Pride Month, these people, grown men, and I guess in some cases women, are out gyrating and dancing sexually and inappropriately in front of children. And yet, it's allowed to happen. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, man. I mean, where did we go so wrong? I don't know. Are we stuck in some sort of like, idiocracy Groundhog Day loop or something like that? Or is there a hole in the space-time continuum that must have happened around sometime around the late 90s and we just didn't realize it? I mean, were the Mayans right? Did the world really end in 2012? Because sometimes when I look around and I see all the things going on, it gives credibility to the fact that, I mean, it feels like we're living in a simulation. I was watching something last night and it made me think of that old show with Jim Carrey, The Truman Show, where, he slowly throughout the movie, spoiler alert, he slowly figures out that everything, his entire life is being recorded and watched by other people for entertainment. And that's sort of the way it feels here on the planet Earth, especially since Biden took in. Really, especially since the COVID tyranny came in and stole many of our liberties away. And we're never going to have those liberties restored again, or the faith in the institutions that are, my wife was telling me the other day, she's like, oh, you need to go into the doctor for your every 2 or 3 year checkup or whatever, because I don't go to the doctor unless I'm dying, right? And she's like, you got to go or you're going to lose your primary care doctor and all this stuff. And I told her, I don't trust doctors anymore. Even that one, even though he seems like a good guy and everything, my problem is his answer to everything through modern medicine is just throw drugs at it, throw big pharma at it, throw money at big pharma. And that's not always the answer. And so my faith after the COVID thing in the entire medical industry is at a record low. I think you might have better luck, in my opinion. This is not medical advice, but I think you might have better luck just going and getting one of those, ancient Chinese or ancient Native American herbal healing books that you can find, and go out and find wild edibles that you can eat and help with other things like arthritis pain. There's lots of stuff like that big pharma doesn't want us to know about, and our doctors don't want us to know about it. So no, I don't trust the doctor. Unless I need a surgery, there's no reason, or unless I break a leg or something like that, there's no reason for me to ever go to a doctor. So anyway, mini rant about doctors over. But yeah, that just pisses me off. Not only that, the times that I have had to go into the doctor for checkups when nothing was wrong with me, 9 times out of 10, I end up getting whatever virus is going around, and then I'm sick with that bullshit. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go to the doctor. I wish they'd bring back, like, house call doctors or whatever they call them, the mobile medics that they had back in the day. Sorry about that. I don't know why the light's doing that suddenly. So yeah, anyway, guys, I'm glad you stopped by. I just wanted to rant a little bit about everything that's going on. I've forgotten like 50% of the stuff that I was going to tell you about, because everything seems like bullshit now. It's all clown world. I mean, I could come on here and report to you what I'm seeing on the news, but I don't trust the fucking news. Do you? So, I mean, I got no idea what's going on over in Russia. It feels like World War III is fixing to happen to me. The way our media and our government's acting and denying everything, it feels like the whole rug is fixing to be jerked out from underneath us. We're losing our dollar's losing its value. I mean, that's not just by happenstance or coincidence. That's because Biden has wrecked the U.S. economy intentionally, on purpose, to bring in the New World Order. It's unreal, man. Fucking real that people are putting up with this crap. When the globalists have it in their plans, what they want to do, how they're going to do it, they've laid out a blueprint, step-by-step plan of how they're going to destroy the entire the modern westernized world. Not only the United States, but Australia, New Zealand, England, every other European nation that considers themselves a westernized nation will be destroyed by this. And Russia will be destroyed as well. What is it about? It's about bringing in the New World Order and destroying all superpowers, especially ones that promote liberty and freedom and death to tyrants, stuff like that, right? Liberty or death, things like that, right? That we're not allowed to talk about anymore. The Liberty Tree that we're not allowed to talk about anymore. And why is that? They don't even want us talking about our culture and our heritage anymore. They don't want us talking positively about the founding fathers, anything good about marriage or families, all this stuff. Even what sex you are, what a woman is. I mean, my God, 2023, again, this idiocracy rolled up in Groundhog Day. That's what I see every day when I turn the news on. I'm like, okay, what's the false flag going to be today? What's the bullshit news story that, the media is going to run with today to distract us from what Biden and Hunter and all the other commies around them are doing? That's what's going on. We don't have independent, true journalists anymore, a free press. We haven't had that, good God, since probably the 1950s. And we're just now realizing it. But it's time we wake up, America. We got to wake up, world, westernized world, before it's too late. Because once it's too late, you're a slave by then. And you're not coming back from that, I'm telling you. So guys, rant concluded. If you like these kinds of videos, share them with your friends and stuff like that, because YouTube certainly doesn't share them. So help me out, get new subscribers to come into the channel, get new eyeballs on the videos. I appreciate you tuning in. Everything I'm seeing on the news right now is indicating to me that I need to double down, triple down on my prepping. I hope you do the same, because I feel it. The hourglass has been tipped over, and there's only a finite amount of sand left in the top part of that hourglass, and then the whole bottom's going to fall out. Everything will collapse. I know it's never happened before in our lifetimes, and it seems unbelievable, but I'm telling you, it can happen. This whole thing that we call, modern civilization is a hell of a lot more fragile than anyone thinks. And I hope we don't find out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it doesn't go nuclear. I hope they don't drop an EMP. I hope that the supply chain doesn't break down. I hope that they prosecute Biden and Hunter and, fulfill their duties of equal protection under the law, equal justice, right? All that stuff that are our founding principles that no one talks about anymore except us. So appreciate it, guys. Spread the word. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know the stories that you're paying attention to right now, because I'm sure I missed a bunch of them. Until then, I stand for liberty to the bitter end. I hope you do too.